So we were just substituted that limits, that is V2 minus R plus 1 divided by, this is the one we have stopped, no? Minus gamma plus 1 minus V1 minus gamma plus 1 divided by minus gamma plus 1. So we are still here. Now what is the next step? I think up to here we have completed. Next step, since this denominator is very common, so you can take it out. So when you take it out, instead of constant, we can use the letter K. Letter K, small letter K, we stands for constant. Instead of writing constant, we are representing with the letter K. Minus gamma plus 1, we can write 1 minus gamma, because it is minus, so just interchange. 1 minus gamma, and what is remaining here? V2 minus gamma plus 1. V2 minus gamma plus 1 minus V1 minus gamma plus 1. So again, I am going to take it down. So down means minus gamma plus 1 become again the same. So 1 by V2, again we are going to get that equation, that is V2 is equal to gamma minus 1 minus 1 by V1 gamma minus 1. Gamma minus 1 means we are changing the sign. So you are getting the equation like this. So we can write it as equation 5. So 3, 4 is over, that is equation 5. Mehak?
Yes, ma'am.
You are back? Okay. Yeah. Tell me, what was the last topic you covered?
Thermal properties of matter.
Thermal properties of matter. Okay. So you are not late. So now we are dealing thermodynamics. That's the next chapter. It is about to finish. That's it. Okay. In volume 2, volume 1, did you cover gravitation, systems and all? Any idea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that means volume 1 is over for you. Then my question is, in this school, we used to give a printer notes. Printer notes means it's a summary of all the chapters. So sometimes if you read in the book, it is very difficult. So some of the students, they follow only printer notes. My question is, do you want like that from all the chapters?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So do one thing. After this class, you my number, you can just copy down 7560870313. It's my WhatsApp number. You just say, hi ma'am, I am Mehak.
Ma'am, can you repeat it?
7560. I have written on the board 7560870313. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So you just say, I ma'am, I am Mehak, and you just give me in this number your WhatsApp, okay? So that I can send all the notes in this WhatsApp. So all other students up to thermal properties I have given. So for you, I have to give from the beginning, no? That's why. Okay? Yes. So let us now continue with it. So that is equation 5. Have you completed all of you up to here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Now we are going back to our previous equation. Do you remember equation number 1? So from equation 1, we have P1 V1 P1 V1. Is it that? Because last class we have sometime we lost. P1 V1 gamma is equal to P2 V2 gamma. So this is from equation 1. It is a constant. Okay. So what we do that instead of this constant, we can have this. So from equation 1, we have P1 V1 gamma is equal to P2 V2 gamma, that is equal to a constant. Therefore, what we do? this constant we substituted here. So instead of, in terms of V2, we will write P2 V2 gamma, and in terms of V1 gamma minus 1, you will write P1 V1 gamma. Okay. So from equation 1, P1 V1 gamma is equal to P2 V2 gamma is a constant, and equation 5, equation 2, we have PV gamma is a constant. So these are the two equations we are combining, and in that, instead of this K, we are substituting. That is the only thing. Okay. So we have already written in the beginning of the derivation, PV gamma is equal to K. So in terms of changing volume, it is becoming P1 V1 gamma and P2 V2 gamma. All three are equal to a constant. That is only idea we have. Now, instead of this K, we can substitute corresponding constant for corresponding volume. So next step, I hope you completed next step. You are multiplying K in each. So you will get work done is equal to 1 by 1 minus gamma into, first is volume V2. So we should write the equation P2 V2 gamma divided by V2 gamma minus 1 minus P1 V1 gamma divided by V1 gamma minus 1.
Ma'am,
Yes?
V1 raised to gamma minus 1, right?
Gamma minus 1. V1 raised to gamma minus 1 and V2 raised to gamma minus 1. Next step, take this V2 gamma minus 1 up. Okay. So you will get work done is equal to 1 by 1 minus gamma divided by P2 V2 gamma into V2 minus gamma plus 1. So this is one term minus P1 V1 gamma into the denominator taking up V1 minus gamma plus 1. So it is A raised to M into A raised to N method. V1 gamma, the first gamma above V1 is M, and second gamma minus gamma plus 1. We are just, when you take it up, the sign changes. And A raised to M into A raised to N form. So that means gamma plus minus gamma plus 1. So gamma plus minus gamma get cancelled, and you are finally remaining with work done is equal to 1 by 1 minus gamma into P2 V2 minus P1 V1. P2 V2 minus P1 V1. So for ideal gas equation, work done you are getting from the equation PV gamma. That is, gamma stands for ratio of the specific molar heat capacity at constant pressure divided by specific heat capacity at constant volume. Okay. So 1 by 1 minus gamma into P2 V2 minus P1 V1. This is one equation. And you can write the same equation in terms of temperature. So far, we got it, the equation P2, V2, P1. So here it is only indicating you change in pressure and change in volume. There is no term telling you change in temperature. So we have to find out another equation in terms of change in temperature. So for that, we are going back to again equation. Can I change, children? Are you okay? Any doubts so far? If you understand step by step what are the mathematical calculation I have done, you will understand. Okay, it's a symbol. Integers, positive, fraction. These all combined here. Only that letters will give you confused. Gamma, V1, all that. So those who are intended to take biology also, don't forget your maths for the physics sake. You have to open the maths textbook and you have to see the fractional, decimal, integers, differentiation, integration parts. That is in physics. Okay. So now we have got the equation of work done for adiabatic process in terms of pressure and volume. Let us now go for in terms of temperature. So next one, under that, in terms of change in temperature, T2 to T1, T2 to T1, we have ideal gas equation. PV is equal to mu RT. Those who are used instead of mu, you can also write nRT. Those who want to write n, you can write n. But both ways you write, I'll give you answer. But don't make it a jumble. I mean, don't make a avial. One line you wrote mu, next line don't write n. Okay, so do that. Okay, ma'am told you can use either mu or n. First line you put mu RT, second line you put nRT, again mu RT. Don't do that. Okay, that don't do. Either one. Some of them Mahans are there here. They will do that. Okay, I know it. So after all, you are my children, no? Last classes. So that's why. So see that either you stick to mu, either you stick to n. Okay, don't write both. Avial, I don't want that. Clear? Okay. Okay, so PV is equal to mu RT, and in these terms, P is equal to mu RT by V. We are going to get a relation. P is equal to mu RT by V. And from second equation, PV gamma is equal to constant. And here mu RT also is a constant. So we are going to combine that. So instead of instead of V, we can write V raised to gamma. Okay. So P is equal to mu RT by V raised to gamma, because we are getting equation of gamma over there. No, that's why we are using. Instead of V, same equation you can change into V to the power of gamma. Okay. Did you write? The gamma is here, okay? I am writing on the top, but don't get confused, it is gamma. Now what we are going to do, there's a changes from T2 to T1. So instead of T, we can substitute this. Clear? Okay. So next line, thus we can write, yes?
Ma'am, last page can you show, ma'am?
Last one, P is equal to mu RT divided by V to the power of gamma. V to the power of gamma. Mu RT, V here and gamma on the top. Gamma put one bending like that, otherwise V and gamma, it look like more or less same. Okay, now what we are going to do, instead of T, we can substitute the value T2. T2 minus T1, okay? That is equal to, P is equal to mu R T2 minus T1 divided by V gamma, V to the power of gamma. Now the in between the what you call, we have work done. Work done is equal to, write down. We have work done is equal to 1 minus gamma into P2 V2 minus P1 V1, P2 V2 minus P1 V1. Now what I do means, instead of this P1 P2 we
Ma'am,
substitute, yes,
ma'am, 1 by 1 minus sigma, right?
1 minus gamma.
Ah, sorry,
Ah.
gamma.
Gamma into P2 V2 minus P1 V1. We have work done 1 by 1 minus gamma is equal to P2 V2 minus P1 V1. Now you can give this is as equation 6, this is as equation 7. Now we are going to combine. Combine means you know that instead of P we can substitute the value mu r T2 by V and mu r T1. So we are not going for that entire, we can just write by combining both we get. So we are not going for the cutting and this and all. After writing this, you are go to the next step. By combining equation 6 and 7, we get work done is equal to mu r T1 minus T2 divided by gamma minus 1. Work done is equal to mu r T1 minus T2 gamma minus 1. Because how to get this going to be another 2 pages of derivation. We don't want that. So that's why after writing this, instead of P, we have to substitute these all, and I think it is going to be more complicated. So we don't want to write that. So after this, you can write by combining equation 6 and 7, we get work done is equal to mu r into T1 minus T2 by gamma minus 1. So that is the equation for adiabatic process. So you by heart this equation, how it is getting. So what do you understand by this? Adiabatic process means insulation, no? Insulating. So in insulating condition, if gas is doing work, I told you volume is decreasing. Gradually what will happen? Temperature will decrease. So T2 in this adiabatic process is less than T1. If work is done by the gas, it is just opposite in isothermal. Isothermal T1 greater than T2, T2 greater than T1. But since we are doing in an insulation condition by the system itself, there is no external energy we are giving from outside. So because of that, what happens? Volume, internal energy decreases. Internal energy decreases means gradually temperature also decreases. Internal energy both are directly proportional. Okay, so that is why. Why? Temperature and internal energy directly proportional, because temperature is the measure of heat energy. So internal energy, actually by conservation of energy, internal energy actually equal to the heat energy supplied or heat energy released. So in that combination, we can say that internal energy is the measure of temperature, or temperature is the measure of internal energy. And who is giving internal energy? The difference in heat. Okay, so temperature is also the measure of internal energy of the system. So that is the idea we are having on the basis of conservation of energy, because internal energy changes due to difference in heat energy. So since the gas is doing work by itself, there is a change in or less temperature, or temperature decreases when they do the work by itself. Okay, so write down. As important point over there. Yes, Punya. I'll tell you, Frank, okay? I'll give you what are the things, because one by one you are asking in the WhatsApp also I get messages like that. So instead of telling one by one, I'll give you one nutshell. Have patience. You complete first volume first, okay? First volume first. Okay, no problem. Who is the name of Josh Tireth? You are entering again. I know. So better you leave the meeting and go. It is not sir, I know. Joshi sir is here. Shall I call? Shall I call? Okay. Ran away. Okay. Shall I tell Joshi sir? Because I know why you all are, some of you entering, because I disabled the waiting room. Okay, I'll continue with it, children. So what was I talking? So you don't worry. First you complete. I will be giving a total summary. What are the things to be studied under volume 2? Okay. So what is important I am teaching you in detail. That you understand. Okay. Yes. I know you're finding very difficult with all these terms. So it's a mechanics, no? So we can't help it. So write down below that. If work is done by the gas, work is, you can write as first point, if work is done by the gas in an adiabatic process, that is work done greater than 0, T2 will be less than T1. Work is doing, but the what is happening, temperature is reducing. So T2 less than T1. Second one, if work is done on the system, that is W less than 0. Then T2 greater than T1. T2 greater than T1. That is temperature of the gas rises. Temperature of the gas rises. Temperature of the gas rises. Okay. Then what happens in isochoric process? Suppose the gas is going for an isochoric process. Derivation only isothermal and the adiabatic. Isothermal and adiabatic only you have derivations. Other two, isochoric, isobaric, no derivation. Only you have to learn 1 or 2 points regarding that. So next, isochoric process. For isochoric process, you can write it as symbol heading, isochoric process for ideal gas. Isochoric process for ideal gas. In isochoric process, who is constant? Who is going to be constant? Tell me. Volume. So if there is no change in volume, you can understand that there is no change in internal energy or something. Correct? Because it is the drastic. The volume decreasing and increasing is the sign whether internal energy increasing or decreasing. Got it? So write down. So write down, in an isochoric process, volume is constant. So no work is done
Once more.
Okay. In an isochoric process, this for ideal gas, okay? Isochoric process, V is constant, volume is constant, So, no work is done. So, no work is done. No work is done on, no work is done on or by the system. No work is done on. On means on the system. On or by the system. So that is the meaning of writing well. Work is done on or by the system. Thus, the heat absorbed by the gas, thus heat absorbed by the gas, thus heat is absorbed by the gas, heat is absorbed by the gas, it is absorbed by the gas, goes entirely, heat absorbed by the gas goes entirely, changing internal energy and temperature, changing internal energy and temperature. And that is equal to specific heat of gas at a constant volume. That is equal to specific heat of gas at a constant volume. That is isochoric process. Next, isobaric process. Isobaric process or process for ideal gas. Isobaric process for ideal gas. That you told me it's a constant pressure, at a constant pressure. So in a constant pressure, pressure only constant, but volume is changing. Therefore, work is done by the gas. So in an isobaric process, at constant pressure, at constant pressure, constant pressure, work done by the gas, only volume P into V2 minus V1, and it is actually equal to mu R into T2 minus T1. Bracket ideal gas equation, PV is equal to mu RT. In all the process, this universal gas equation satisfies. Okay. PV is equal to mu RT. That is the reason why we are writing P into V2 minus V1 is equal to mu R into T2 minus T1. That is isobaric. And how this energy is distributed in this case? In the case of isobaric process, energy is distributed. So write down. The one part of the heat absorbed, used to increase internal energy, and other part and other part used to do work. So this is how in an isobaric process the heat energy is divided among the internal energy and as well as temperature. Another part is used to do work. To do work. So what will happen? Thus, change in temperature. Thus, change in temperature for a given amount of heat. Thus, change in temperature for a given amount of heat is determined. The change in temperature for a given amount of heat is determined by the specific heat of gas. By specific heat of the gas. Specific heat of the gas at constant pressure. At constant pressure. Okay, so that's about the effect of the various process in the case of a ideal gas, and application of this is what we use in heat engine and refrigerator. So for you that part is deleted from your from the exam. The working of heat engine, refrigerator, Carnot's engine. These are the three engines working you have to study in terms of this adiabatic and isothermal process that has been deleted. Okay. So we are moving on to last part, only the statement. Second law of thermodynamics. That is only statement you have to study, no derivation, nothing. So we will complete. Okay. So next, only statement you have to study, second law of thermodynamics. So all this we have learned on the basis of first law. Now second law of thermodynamics. So every law has its own limitations. Okay. So first law, even first law has told that how much you say an ideal gas. Ideal gas, maybe all the processes are equilibrium constant. Okay. But there is a limitation. And second law proved that limitation. So whatever happened in the first law, it is proved the limitation. So that is the second law has done. And second law defined by two scientists. One scientist, Kelvin Planck, and another scientist, Clausius statement. So second law comprises of two statements, Kelvin Planck statement and Clausius statement. So both the statements same, only telling, but in different situations. So this is only tell you that no heat engines, no engines are 100% efficient in practical world. So they proved that fact. Nothing is 100% efficient. So that's it. So write down. The second law of thermodynamics. Second law of thermodynamics gives fundamental limitation. Gives fundamental limitations to the efficiency of a heat engine. To the efficiency of a heat engine. Fundamental limitation to the efficiency of a heat engine. First, I am going to give Kelvin Planck statement. First one, Kelvin Planck statement. First statement, no process is possible. No process is possible. No process is possible. In which heat can be converted. In which heat can be converted to mechanical work. Heat can be converted to mechanical work completely mechanical work completely by absorption of heat. By absorption of heat. That is Kelvin Planck statement. So it's clear, no? I don't have to give explanation. So we cannot use full heat energy in order to utilize for a working of a machine. So that is why machine is not 100% efficient. Second statement, Clausius statement. Clausius. Clausius statement.
Ma'am, can you repeat the statement?
Huh?
Ma'am,
Write
can
down.
you repeat the Kelvin Planck statement?
No process is possible. No process is possible in which heat can be converted. In which heat can be converted to mechanical work completely by absorption of heat. Whatever we absorb, that heat energy cannot be used fully. That's the meaning of Kelvin Planck statement. Whatever we take it. Clausius statement, it is impossible for a self-acting mechanism. It is impossible for a self-acting mechanism. That means a machine which works itself. Self-acting mechanism to transfer heat from lower temperature reservoir means wherever is the heat energy supply, reservoir, to a higher temperature reservoir without external work. That's Clausius statement. Okay, it is impossible for a self-acting mechanism to transfer heat from a lower temperature reservoir to a higher temperature reservoir without external work. So you have to give some external work. If you want to make the refrigerator to cool or any cold substance to get heated, cold substance like water you are boiling, so you have to give external energy, then only the cold water get boiled. So without that, no system is ideal. Okay, so that's about this chapter completed. Okay, so thank you. Regarding volume 2, don't worry, I will send the message to you what are things to be studied. Okay.